focus on line segment stuff. And I'm going to show you how to figure out how long a line segment is given their points, coordinates on a graph. All right, so first thing you can do for me, I'm going to start nice and easy to smooth you right in. Can you guys draw AB on that graph for me? How do you know where to put it? I've given you the coordinates. So hopefully you remember from our middle school days here how to graph. All right, so please go ahead and graph AB on the grid. And ready for part B now. Look at what I'm asking for part B. Hopefully you remember this from yesterday. Part B says find AB. What does it not have on top of it? Line segment symbol. So what are we talking about with AB without a line segment symbol? Find the what? It's always find the distance, the length. Okay, find the length of it. Remember, no line segment symbol. I'm asking for the length. And I'm not trying to be tricky here. How do you find the length of AB? Count it. Yeah, count it. Count it up. And what are you finding? How long is it after you count it up here, Michael? 5 units. Good. 5 units. No issues there, right? Not blowing anybody's mind. All right, next up, go ahead, draw CD now for me, please. Draw CD. All right, same thing for part D. Find CD without the line segment. So I know, oh, he's asking me to find the length of CD. So what is the length of CD when you have it right there? Jalen, when you have it? 3. Good work. All right. Any issues? I wish we were doing this all day. This is nice and easy. But unfortunately, there is going to come a time when... Spin. Good. There's going to come a time when you can't count. And I'm still going to ask for the length. So please draw EF right now. Please draw EF in the next problem. And here is a time when it's not horizontal or vertical. You will not be able to count. I do not want you to pull, bless you. I don't want you to pull this, bless you. Oh, 1 unit, 2 units, 3, 4. That looks like a quarter. So I'm going to say 4 1/4. No, you're not. Stop being embarrassing. Okay? If it is diagonal, we cannot count it. So I still need the length, though. We're not skipping it. I still need the length. So we are going to go back to something I am hoping, crossing my fingers. I've been told you were taught this last year. Anybody remember Pythagorean theorem? Yeah. Yes, we've been all good. But wait a second. When you guys were taught Pythagorean theorem, what were you always working with?
Triangles.
A triangle, a right triangle probably, right? I got a line segment. But guess what we can make out of it? A right triangle. Okay, we could take our segment and make a right triangle out of it. We can go horizontally, then vertically. We can make a right triangle out of it. Are you able to find the lengths of the sides you just drew in? Yeah, count them. Go ahead, count them and write them next to them. Two and 4. Now you have enough information to use Pythagorean theorem, which will find you the length of your line segment. We've been talking about Pythagorean theorem. What is it? Anybody? What do we got here? What is it there, Max?
A squared plus B squared is C squared.
Yep. Let's talk about each part real quick. Anybody remember what the A and the B represented? It had a special name, but even if you don't remember the special name, that's fine. Asad, what do you have?
the short side. The short sides. I don't remember what the other ones.
Yep, they're the horizontal and vertical ones you guys just drew in. They're called you got two of them, you walk with them.
Legs.
Hey, good job, honors kids. Yep, they're called the legs. Yep, that forms the right angle. That's the horizontal and vertical part. And then the part we're trying to find, our line segment, is referred to as the hypotenuse. Yep. We'll be using this a ton this year. So that's how we can find the length of the line segment, is by using Pythagorean theorem. So plug it, now it becomes substitution. 2 squared plus 4 squared, they could have been reversed too. They could have been reversed, equals c squared. And here we go. 2 squared, 4 squared, equals c squared. We're trying to get c by itself eventually. Add your two legs together there, 20. And then anybody remember how you got rid of the squared algebraically last year? Go ahead, Natalie.
Like square root.
Correct. You square root. Good job, both sides. And now I go to my NumWorks calculator. Everybody see where the square root button is? Remind yourself where it is. It's right above the parenthesis there. So square root 20. And your calculator is going to give you two answers back. A radical answer and a decimal answer. Please read the directions. What's it say? Leave your answer in. There you go. So that's what I want. 2 radical 5 as my answer. So is everybody all right using Pythagorean theorem? Good, because sometimes you can't though. You know, I wish we could find the length of a line segment using Pythagorean theorem every single time, but there are going to be problems where Pythag is not an option. Unfortunately, you want to see where it's not an option? Right here, next example. You tell me why Pythag's not an option here, probably. Anybody see why Pythag's probably not an option there? Right, what do you say there, boss?
can't take the square root of a negative number.
Well, I don't know if we'll be taking this. I don't know if it'll come out to be negative or not. All right, because we're not going to take the square root of like negative 2.1. We're going to do something with it. What was the first thing you guys have been doing these last 3 problems? Yeah, you graphed it. Did anybody got a problem now? I'm not graphing that. Absolutely not. There's no way I could be exact in the graph that. So if you can't graph it, you can't make a right triangle. You can't use Pythagorean theorem. So sometimes Pythag is great, but in this case, it's not a good option. So instead, and this is the topic for today, I am going to give you a formula that will find the length of any line segment, whether you can graph it or not, called the distance formula. All right, this can be used for any length of any line segment. And here it is, d for distance equals, and I know you guys haven't known me for too long yet this year, but what do you think the chances are I give you this formula on Friday's quiz in an honors level class? 0.0. Yes, you are on the hook for this on Friday if you decide to use it. Okay, here's what it is. Distance equals, give me a big square root. Woo! Inside that square root, we're going to put a set of parentheses that are going to be squared. Inside that parenthesis, you ready? X2, not x squared. We're not squaring that. It's x2, a subscript it's called. Minus x1. I'll show you where we get these values in a second, but some of you probably already know.
I've already done like something like this.
You have?
Yeah,
We did
for
it
a
in
slope
7th
form.
grade.
Whoa, 7th grade, huh?
Yeah.
Distance formula?
No, it's for like a slope form, like.
No, we did
No.
distance in
X-
7th.
Yeah, don't get that confused.
I know,
This
but-
is slope right here.
I know, yeah, but I'm saying like we have like the same like. type
Oh, the
thing.
y2 and the x.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I got you. Yep. So you guys know what I'm talking about. If not, I'm still going to go over it. Plus, and then a second set of parentheses which will also be squared. And honors kids, guess what I'm going to fill that in with? The y's. y2 minus y1. There it is, distance formula. Yes, you have to know it, because as you guys are finding out, you can't just rely on Pythagorean theorem. All right, so let's do this one using the distance formula. And I got good news. It looks pretty intimidating, but I do have good news. So the first thing we're going to do is subtract the x coordinates. That's what x2 and x1 mean. So point R and point S both have x coordinates. What are they? And then I will tell you the good news. Ryan, what are the x coordinates for R and S?
Negative 6.5 and negative 2.12.
Good news. Order doesn't matter. You can subtract them in any order. And some of you are like, what? Here's why. Grab your numworks calculator real quick. Hurry up, grab your numworks calculator. In parentheses, do 4 minus 2, close it, then square it. Then, parentheses, 2 minus 4, parentheses, square it. Order doesn't matter. Why? Because you end up squaring it at the end. That's why. So the order doesn't matter. So I'm going to go negative 2.12 minus 6.5 squared. The only warning I'm going to give you, I see this every darn year. Here's the warning. If you decided to do 6.5 first, minus negative 2.12, you got to make sure you have the minus and the negative in there. Okay, don't drop one of them. It becomes a totally different number. Everybody good? So when you subtract a negative, either put plus or make sure both negatives are in there. All good. Watch out for that. Common mistake for every student. Plus, what are my y coordinates up here now? What are my y coordinates? 1, 2, max. What are my y coordinates?
6.36.
Yep.
Negative 2.62.
Okay. I always put the negative first just because I don't forget to drop, one of the signs we were just talking about. And then once you have this set up, this is all the work I need to see. Because I'm going to hope you type that full thing in your numworks calculator right now. I would highly recommend doing that and not going piece by piece. All right? Once you have that, that's enough work for me. I would expect you guys to type all that in. And I will do the same right now. Make sure if you have double negatives, you put both in. Or you changed it to positive already. So big square roots. And there are times like this where your calculator is unable to give you an answer in radical form. So does everyone see my directions? I needed to now change it from radical form to nearest tenth because your calculator doesn't give you a radical answer. And how are we doing on the rounding? We okay? You do that in like 5th grade, I think. So hopefully we're good. Nearest tenth. So if we go nearest tenth, what's my final answer up here if I go nearest tenth? We got an 8 spot. Natalie, what do you got? Nearest 10th?
12.4.
Good job. Alrighty. Yes.
Wait, you want us to do like that equal sign or like the one that it says on the calculator?
Oh, the approximate? What do you mean? What gives you? Oh, this?
Yeah.
No. Just put equals. Yeah, just put equals. All right, is everyone good? Final thing I'll say before we go to a word problem. I don't care what you use. You want to use Pythag, use Pythag. You want to use distance, use distance. Just keep in mind, though, there are times where you have to use distance and not Pythag. All right, I don't care what you do, especially on this next word problem. Drop. That was a quick one. Drop. All right, we got Ben and Kate in a nutshell, so you don't have to read all through this. Here's Ben and Kate's house up there. I want to know how far apart they are, but just realize that every time you go 1 unit, you're actually going 100 yards. Okay, so I want to know how many yards, not units, how many yards apart are they? And I'm going to let you go on your own. I am not going to tell you to use distance or Pythag. You use what you're comfortable with. But remember at the end, every unit is 100 yards before you give me the final answer. Okay, so you do you. If you are going to use distance, you will have to figure out the coordinates of Kate and Ben's house. If you decide to use distance formula. You need to know their coordinates first. Should be getting out 10 no matter how you did it. I showed Pythag over here, distance to the right. All right, so no matter how you did it, hopefully you're getting 10, but that is only the number of units away the houses are. We're looking for the number of yards, right? Number of yards. So we take the 10, and every unit is 100 yards, so we want to take 10, multiply that bad boy by 100, so they should be 1,000 yards apart. Now you're going to have to do something similar like this problem on Friday's quiz. Any issues? Yes.
I just have a question.
Sure.
Like, I did the Pythagorean theorem too, but instead of doing 8 and 6, I did 800 and 600.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
So
Just remember that's going to be your final answer then.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it. Yeah. Some kids take like 6 and 2 and they do 600, 200 and plug that into distance or use it for Pythag. Yeah. That's just realize though, I don't have to do this step over here. What do you got, Jacob?
When you show your work for a Pythagorean theorem
Yep.
one, can you just like type 8 squared plus 6 squared into your calculator instead of showing what 8 squared is?
Yep, that's fine. Like you just want to go from here to here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I just really want to see what you substituted into Pythag. Good questions. Anything else? Okay, you know I ask you this on a daily basis. What class are we in?
No.
Okay, yeah. So real quickly here, I just wanted to let you know there's a little bit of difference here. All right, you guys are in Honors Geometry BC. There's also Geometry AB. I teach that class as well. And other than, because there's probably some of your friends in that are taking Geometry AB and they're freshmen as well. So what is the big difference between the two courses? Well, obviously test and quizzes are much harder. Okay, different questions, much harder. But also in addition to that, like today in Geometry AB, we're done with the notes. We ended on the Ben and Kate problem. Now in Honors Geometry BC, I try to challenge you with a couple challenge problems, which we're going to do right now to finish class, and you're going to have a couple more on homework. You guys had totally different homeworks tonight, A, B, and BC. All right, so if you ever want to know, why does he keep asking me if we're in honor, there's a reason. Yeah, the tests and quizzes are much tougher, but also too, we do some more challenging problems and notes, and tonight you're going to do it in the homework. So here you go. Star, good job. All right, so this is what I consider an honors level problem. I won't do this with the AB students. I'll just do it with my honors students. Determine the value of n. I give you coordinate P and coordinate Q, and then I say PQ equals 13. What am I telling you? What am I telling you there? Look at the notation. No line segment symbol above. What am I telling you? PQ is the length, right? Length of PQ right here. So I am going to use distance formula, but guess what? I already know what the length is. I'm not asking you to find it. I already know what the length is. I'm asking you to find what n is in those coordinates. So I'm going to start with the distance formula. Just a reminder of what it is. But guess what I already know? The distance, d. So guess what I'm going to substitute in? 13 in for d. I already know what it is. Here we go. Equals. What are the x coordinates up here? What are the x coordinates so I can substitute those in? Shoo, Max, what are my x coordinates? For P and Q, what are the x coordinates?
Okay.
Yep.
3n and 4n.
3n and 4n. Everyone good? So I have to subtract them. I told you order didn't matter. I'm going to do 4n minus 3n, so I stay away from the negative. All right, so I'm going to do 4n minus 3n, all squared. Everyone's good? All right, now you better buckle up. I'm about to knock your socks off here. Plus, how about the y coordinates? What are the y coordinates up here? Gianna, what are the y coordinates?
N minus 7 and n plus 5.
Yeah, n minus 7 and n plus 5. Everyone agrees? Okay, so I'll do n minus 7. And everyone ready here? Anybody want to lock in on here? N minus 7 minus n plus 5. That's incorrect. What are you talking about? You just subtract the other y coordinate. Yeah, you did. But the way I wrote it, what's the only thing I'm subtracting? N. You got to subtract the entire y coordinate, don't you? The entire y coordinate. And the way I wrote it, the only thing I'm subtracting is n. Does everyone see that? So what I need to do here is I put brackets, whatever you want to put there, another set of parentheses, because I was only subtracting n. I need to subtract the entire y coordinate. Go ahead.
If you had like n plus 5 minus n minus 7.
The n minus 7's got to go in now.
Okay.
Yes, correct. Yes. Because if you just wrote it, you're just subtracting n again. You got to put it around the entire thing. Everyone good? All right, let's keep going. Now you're going to put your algebra pants on. 4n minus 3n? N. And then I square it, so what's that just going to be left with? N squared. Everyone's good there. N squared. Plus, all right, let's do a little work over here. I got the n minus 7. Anybody know what I have to do with that subtraction sign? Because it applies to everything in here. Yeah, distribute it through. So it's going to be minus n, but not plus 5. It's going to be? Yeah. So if you didn't put those brackets in there, you would have just left it plus 5. And no, Julia.
If you put n plus 5 and then n minus 7, does the 7 then become positive?
Correct. Yes, correct. If you wrote it in reverse, it should be minus n plus 7. Yep. Okay, everybody good so far? No issues? We got to keep working there, don't we? So 13 equals, let's keep going, nothing to do with the n squared. All right, let's look inside the parentheses. No matter how you wrote it, what happens to everybody's n's?
They go away.
See ya! They're gone, right? They cancel each other out. We're left with what? Negative 7 minus 5, which is? Negative 12. Some of you might be left with positive 12 if you wrote it the other way. Either way, we're going to come up with the same thing. Is everyone all right? We're still not out of the woods yet. We got a lot of algebra to do here. All good on where I got negative 12 or where I got positive 12, depending on how you wrote it. Okay, here we go. What is 12 squared or negative 12 all squared? It's the same number. Negative 12 all squared or 12 squared, it's going to be 144, positive 144, right? Now we're all on the same spot. Good so far. Okay, I know what some of you want to do right now. You want to try to take the square root of n squared plus 144, and you want to tell me it's n plus 12. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. Here's why. Here's why, and hopefully I don't lose you telling you why. Guys, what's the square root of 9? Why is it 3? Because 3 squared gives you 9 back, right? What's the square root of 36? 6. Why? Because when you square it, you get that back. So if this is really the answer here, n plus 12, I should be able to square it, write it 2 times, and I should get that back. You guys remember FOIL from last year? N squared, right? Well, what am I going to get right here? 12n. And another 12n. Is that going to disappear and just give me nothing in the middle? No, so that's why they're not equal. So what do I do then? I want to get rid of the radical. How do you get rid of a radical? Yeah, square it. So I'm going to square both sides. And all that does is get rid of the radical. That does nothing to anything inside it. Just gets rid of the radical. And then 13 squared, calculator, $1.69. And then how you feel now? What do I have to move now? Move the 144 over, which is a nice perfect number, huh? 25 equals n squared. What do you want to do next? Square both sides?
Square root.
I want to take this, I want to get rid of this, so I want to square root both sides. I agree, but I've got to take a point off. And everyone always forgets about this because usually the other answer is not there. But when you take the square root of a number, you're left with the positive version and okay, usually you don't even think about the negative version because it's impossible to happen. But can you have a negative coordinate? Can you go in the negative direction on a graph? Yeah, you can. So you guys familiar with this, plus or minus? Yep, so it's plus or minus 5. Wow, welcome to honors. That was a wake-up call. You will have one similar tonight. I just want to make sure because there's a classic mistake that happens on tonight's homework that's similar to this one. If you were left with something that looks like that, hey, that is not equal to this. Those are 2 totally different things. It's not equal to that. Anybody know what you do here? What do you got, Riley?
4a squared.
Yeah, you put the 2 squared and then the a squared, all right? 2, that is not equal to 2a squared, 4a squared. So heads up tonight when you come across that. Please look at the bottom of your notes. I wrote a lot of rounding directions there. Pay attention to them, please. Okay, I wrote a lot of hints, a lot of things you need for each of those problems. It's going to get tough. It's going to get tough at the end. Sully.
Are these on Google Classroom or are these in the test review area?
Say it again.
Like the test review area in the actual packet?
No. Does it say packet?
No.
So where are you going to find them?
Google Classroom.
Darn right. Here you go. If it's out of the packet, I will write the word packet. Okay, go ahead, get rolling.